All right, so one of the tough ones on the test is probably going to be this whole elasticity to demand. So let's work through it and make sure we get it. The first thing you're going to need is you're going to need the equation. So if you don't have them written down, here they are. The first one is for the elasticity of demand. So we got our percent change in quantity demanded. Okay, it's going to go over the percent change in price. All right, so make sure that you have that written down. That's how you figure out your elasticity of demand. Then we got to figure out what is our how do you figure out that whole percent change? So your percent change, what is that? That's going to do that, you got to take the original number minus the new number. Okay, now that sometimes confuses kids. So let's make sure we understand what that means. Let's say the price, we got to look at two things, obviously, price and quantity. Let's say the price went from $3 to $5. Goes from $3 to $5. All right. Well, the original number is the first thing. Okay, so that first price, and then the new number is the second price, the what happens. Okay, so your original number minus your new number. Okay, so that a lot of times confuses kids. So make sure you know what's original and what's new. Okay, but now that you know that, take the original number minus new number, put it over the original number. Okay, that's going to give you a number. All right, and then you're going to take that number, and then you're going to multiply it by 100, and that's going to give you your percent change. Okay, whatever that equals is going to be your percent change. Okay, and then you're going to get a percent change in quantity demanded, and you're going to get a percent change in price. Okay, all right. So let's do a problem. I'm going to write it out. If you feel like you can do it without me walking through it, then try it. And then if you get confused, you can see some steps. So the first scenario is we're going to take our price is going to be 20, goes from $20 to $25. Okay? And then our quantity is going to go from 50 to 40. Okay, our quantity is going to go from 50 to 40. And that makes sense, right? Price went up, so quantity goes down. So right now, if you're ready, try to figure that out. And then you can see if you got it right in a little bit. So pause it, figure it out. Okay? All right, now you figured it out. Now let's see if you got what I'm going to get. Okay? So first let's start with quantity. Okay? First let's start with quantity demanded because that's the thing that's going to go on top. So quantity demanded, we'll take that original number 50, subtract 40. What's that going to equal? That's going to equal 10. We're going to put it over 50. Okay? And then so 10 over 50, that's going to equal 0.2. And then you're going to multiply that by 100. And what does that equal? That equals 20. Okay? Good. So now we have the top number of our figuring out our coefficient of elasticity. Then we're going to look at price. Percent change of price is on the bottom. Then you're going to take the same thing. Original number, which was 20. New number, which is 25. That's going to equal negative 5 actually, but 5 because we ignore negatives. So 5 over 20. Okay, so what does that equal? That equals 0.25. Okay, and then we're going to multiply that by 100. Okay, and what do we get? 0.25 times 100 is 25. Okay, then you do the math, sit there, you look at it, you figure it out, and you say, oh yeah, 20 over 25, 0.8. 20 over 25 is 0.8. Okay, then you remember your general rule of thumb. When we're talking elasticity, what are we talking about? So if that's your number, you got it. Then the other thing you got to figure out is that elastic, inelastic, or unitelastic? Well, if the number is less than 1, that means it is inelastic. If it's greater than 1, then it means it is elastic. And if it equals 1, it's unit elastic. Okay? So those are our three scenarios. So we look at that, it's less than 1, so that means that it's inelastic. Okay? Which makes sense because the price went up a lot compared to how the quantity changed. Okay? So inelastic. Then, next up, so we got one problem there. Let's try to figure out another problem, see how we do. Okay, let's see how we do. So, let's say the price goes from 5 to $4. Okay, it could be any unit, peso maybe if you're in Mexico. And then the quantity is going to go from 90 to 100. Okay, let's see what this one does. So now you should be able to figure that out if you're doing well with this. And let's see what you got. So pause it, figure it out. We'll get rid of those little things right there. All right, well, now that you got it, let's see if you got what I got. Okay, so you're going to first start out with quantity demanded. So quantity demanded went from 90 original, new number's 100. It's going to be negative 10. We're just going to say 10, okay, because we ignore negatives. 10 over 90. Okay, 10 over 90, what does that equal? That equals 0.1 repeat, or 0.1 repeating, let's call it 0.011. So multiply that 100, that's 11. Okay, that's our top number there. And then our bottom number is going to be our price. So we're going to go from our price right here. I'll just kind of box these so we make sense. Our price, 5. Subtract that from the new number, which is 4. It's going to be 1 over 5. Okay, so 1 over 5 is going to be 0.2. Multiply that by 100. It's 20. Okay. So now we got to look at that and figure that out and say, all right, we got our quantity demanded on top, our price on the bottom. We're going to divide 11 by 20. A little slightly different one, but that's okay. 11 by 20, and that's going to be 0.55. Okay, so we look at that one, and that one, once again, is going to be determined by economists to be inelastic. All right, so hopefully this confirms that you are an amazing figure outer of elasticity of demand.
Mrs. Hubbard, if you're still in the building, could you please call